Hey guys, it's Drea. Today has been a really rainy day. Haven't really been able to do much. Also the quarantine factor. Couldn't even go for a walk today. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like doing makeup. I kind of felt like sitting down, but I had no idea what to film. I had no ideas, nothing that I was like prepared to do. And I was just like standing in the kitchen, like kind of cleaning, and this thought popped into my head. What about doing makeup with no foundation? And I've done this before in my life where I do like no makeup days, and I definitely will like put on concealer and no foundation and do a really natural look. But you know what I've never ever done is full glam with no foundation. And I just kind of want to see what it ends up looking like. I have nowhere to go, so if it looks terrible, no big deal. But I also have a few things here that are first and second impressions, and I figured I would include that all in this video too. So I'm going to be using this because this is definitely going to be a full glam palette, I think. It's the Morphe 24A Artist Pass. I got this in the Sephora VIB sale. I'm waiting to film my haul for that too. I'm waiting on like one order. But this is what this looks like, and this is definitely a full glam palette. I'm really interested in trying this shade. What's it called? It's called Spotlight Stealer, and if you look at it nice and close, you can see that it actually has glitter in it that are stars. So I'm gonna bust out my glitter glue and try that shade. I just heard thunder. I have never heard thunder living here. When I first moved here, I live on Vancouver Island. When I first moved here, I remember a hairdresser telling me it rains a lot, but there's never thunder and lightning. And me coming from Ontario and Manitoba in my life, was like kind of shocked by that. Anyways, I'm gonna start with Get the Shot as my transition. So I was really shocked by that, but it's true. There's like, that's the first time I think I've ever heard thunder while living here. Okay, so I have my primer down. I'm gonna use this as a transition shade. So I'm gonna put a little bit just above my crease. I have a lot of lid space up here, so I have to go up a little high. If I put it just in my crease, then I have all this space and it looks really awkward. I've learned that over the years. This is definitely a more neutral side of the palette here, and then there's all your bright colors. I don't know what color I should use to go with this sparkly glitter shade, but I'm thinking probably, oh, maybe the pinks. Maybe the pinks. Yeah, I was gonna say the purple, but I think the pink would be really cool because it'd be really bright. There are so many glitter shades in this palette, like full on glitters. There's this really cool like orangey glitter that I would love to try, and then of course there's all these glitters here. And like, look at this pressed kind of like purpley lilac blue one. Honestly, I have a project pan for eyeshadow and I've been trying to focus on those, but I really want to like use this a lot this month to try to get an idea of like how this really works. And also I want to make sure it's good, because if it sucks and when Sephora's reopen, you know, it'll go back. But for now, I'm kind of just excited to give it a shot. Okay, I think I'll just go straight into the pink now and kind of just put that right into my crease. This one is called Max Volume. These definitely have a lot of powderiness and kick up so far. I mean, these are both mattes so far that I've used, so we'll see about like everything else. But so there will be fallout. So probably a good idea to not wear foundation or at least do your eyeshadow first while using these types of shades. But I definitely just tap off my brush whenever I'm using these kind of shades in any palette. This is so much better. I'm trying to use this mirror, but it's I really just need to Windex it, to tell you the truth. Now I can actually see. Also, I feel like I need a new prescription. I'm feeling definitely, even before quarantine, that I was like having to squint at the television and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I really do need to update my prescription. You know how long it's been? Probably like 12 years. So you can see it is definitely buildable. You know, I'm gonna go in a little bit closer. Makes more sense. You guys can see better. Look at this side, which is finished, at least this layer. And then look at this side. That's my first pass of the pink. So you can see it's definitely buildable. It's not like, it is very pigmented, but not like right off the bat where you have to worry about it. Okay, I'm not the most patient person when it comes to blending, and I definitely felt like that required a little bit more blending than I want. It was a little bit patchy and I really had to blend it out. I feel like this side still is a little bit patchy, just a little bit. But anyway, I am gonna do something I haven't done in a very long time, which is a halo eye. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this shade here, Seek Shade, which is a matte brown. I'm going to put that in the outer and inner on each eye. I'm trying to decide if I want to use the purple in there too, but one thing at a time. This is my favorite brush for like outer V work, for very, very dark shades that I still want to go on pigmented but blend out. It's just a flat shader, but it's a little bit of a softer flat shader. So it's not like a MAC 242. It's definitely a lot softer and pliable. And so what I like to do, and yeah, this one has a lot of fallout too, is grab my deep dark shade that I'm using and just start patting it with this and kind of going like up and around. And then I can grab more. But I just like to pat it because then it does do a little bit of blending on its own when you do it that way, and you're not stuck with too much product. Okay, so since I want to do the purple, I think I'm not going to go in too far, and I'll grab just a little bit more, tap it off, and just do the tiniest little triangle on the inner side. Okay, I'm going to blend that out some more, but what I'm going to do first is just take this brush and just kind of like lightly, right in the crease, barely kind of connect what's happening with just whatever is left over on this brush. Okay, and now I'm just going to re-blend everything out with the previous shade brush that I use, which in this case is the pink one, and just kind of blend all that brown into that pink in the crease. So this shade here, Seek Shade, it looks very, very deep in the pan, but on the eyes, it definitely blends away a little bit. Like, look at that. See how it's a little bit deeper on this side, and then as soon as I start blending it out, it's definitely losing that pigment. So look at this, look how, that's really patchy. I'm never a fan when these deep shades do that. It's really kind of annoying because then you have to go back in and add the pigment back to it. I'm not like a Morphe stan. I don't have all their palettes. I barely use the ones I have, and I did declutter a bunch of them. So when this palette came out, I just was like, you know what? I really love the look of all the colors. So that's what really drew me in, and the packaging too, not gonna lie. So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. But to be honest, like, kind of my expectations are pretty low for this palette. Okay, I'm gonna go into the shade Security. It's a little bit of a lighter brown, and I'm gonna take it on a very kind of rounded, stiffer blending brush, and I'm just gonna take it right above all that brown just to kind of blend it a little bit more, because I don't really like the way it blended by itself. I feel like you can, especially here, like you can really see the patchiness and the line of it. So if I just take another kind of shade down and use that to blend into the pink, I think that's what I have to do. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting less and less impressed as I go along. It's just being a little bit annoying with the way that it's taking a long time to get things looking blended, and it's not looking cohesive, and I feel like now it's really a lot darker than I wanted it to be, so I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna go into the purple, I'm gonna actually go into the blue. It's called Ride or Sky, and in the halo, so I'm gonna grab a similar brush to that last one, tap it off, and just right between that empty space and that brown, just the tiniest little bit on either side. Because I'm going to put all that glittery stuff in the middle, and I think with a blue, it's going to look pretty cool. Okay, doing the next step is going to be a 3-step process. Taking my glitter glue, this one is the BH Cosmetics Base Booster, and I like to put it on the back of my hand. This stuff is super, super sticky, so this is more than enough for both eyes. And then I'm taking a very kind of stiff, very stiff synthetic brush. I'm going to grab enough where it's like kind of a layer on there, but not goopy at all. And I'm just going to tap that right kind of in the middle, just barely into that blue. And you want to do one eye at a time because it will dry. Then I'm going to grab a flat shader brush without blinking because you don't want that glue to go anywhere. And I'm going to see if this glitter kind of goes onto this brush. If not, I'll use my finger. Kind of does, so we'll try it out. And then just barely tap it onto that glitter. I'll go back and get a little bit more. This shade really flakes because, you know, it's a glitter. It's not, I don't know, whatever. It just really, really flakes. Okay, so I only have 2 stars on there. I feel like that might be a problem with this star shade because you probably want more, like, you probably want a specific amount of stars and kind of placement of them. So let's see if I can get some more. I'm just adding a tiny bit more of that glitter glue. And let's see. Okay, got some on my finger. Let's just try. Oh, see, there you go. Got some more stars. And then the glitter in it, I think the blue is a good choice. But those stars are looking a little bit weird with the placement. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of cool look though. Look at that. Look at that glitter. When I said it was gonna be full glam, I was not lying. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought it would, but I'm just wiping away anything. Not a lot of fallout actually, just a tiny little bit. So tapping off your brush is a good idea. Okay, no foundation, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna use face products. I'm going to use a primer. I just wanna fill in my pores. This is the Beauty Blender, the Leveler Pore Minimizing Primer, and I got this as like a sample from Sephora. That's right? Was it a sample? No, it was a Point Perk. That's right. Okay, not that it matters. Anyways, so I'm just going to use this. At first when I saw this product, I was like, you know what, that looks like it's going to be just like Benefit Professional. It's kind of the same color. There's not really a tint to it, I don't think, unless the tint is identical to my own skin tone. But it definitely fills pores, but I feel like this is a pore filling primer intended for people with normal to dry skin because it feels very, very moisturizing, which is something a little bit different for a pore filling primer. Like for me, most pore filling primers feel, if not matte, at least just like normal. So it definitely feels super hydrating. That's the second time I've used it, and I feel like it does a pretty good job filling in pores, and I have really, really large ones here and here and here. All right, so I'm going to just color correct my under eyes, and I feel like for no foundation look, this is a really important step for me to cancel out this darkness because I am going to use a concealer, but a concealer will not be enough on that darkness. Okay, I did it, guys. I talked about this in my wish list video. I did purchase the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, the satin finish one. I got the shade Light Peach. I've used it once or twice so far, and while to me it doesn't feel like super, super hydrating, it doesn't feel dry either, and the coverage is pretty decent on it. What I'm going to do, because I'm not going to obviously put this all over my face, no foundation to me doesn't mean like I'm going to use concealer all over my face. I'm not naming any names, but a big YouTuber just did that recently, and I was like, that's cheating. Like, you're still covering up your entire skin on your face. So, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine, but don't call it like no foundation. I'm going to use a flat concealer brush first, and then I'm going to use a sponge just to like even it out. Yeah, this mirror is just terrible. But I'm going to take this kind of just like right up to underneath my eyes, and then, oh, I just noticed I have like blue glitter all over my face. Okay, forget what I said before about no haul out. See why a good mirror is important? I did not see that in this bigger mirror here. Okay, so bring it out and down, and then I'll blend it out. And this I can bring down also just to like kind of cover up the redness just around my nose. But I don't really want to cover my nose or anywhere else. So I'm just really bringing it in this area, and that's it. And also kind of up into this hollow of my nose where I get a lot of darkness up in there as well. So that looks pretty good, right? Like it's a decent amount of coverage. I think it looks pretty natural. It's not like super full coverage or anything. Oh, I really hate right here. That doesn't look blended at all. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm just gonna set this with my Hourglass Veil foundation. Thinking about foundation way too much. Powder, my Hourglass Veil powder. Just gonna set that so it doesn't move around. Now I'm going to powder the rest of my face only because I am super oily. If you're dry and you want to do a no foundation look, I'm sure you can do fine with no powder. But for me, like I saw at the beginning of this video just how oily I was. It's because I have like sunscreen on and that stuff's not mattifying. It just, my oily skin makes it even more oily. So this is completely translucent. Like there's no color to this. It's just my IT Cosmetics powder. And I'm only using this to get rid of any shine. There's like no coverage to this at all. None at all. You can still see like kind of my I don't know what these are called, like sunspots or something. I get them like right up here especially. I have like spider veins right beside my mouth. Like there's no reason you have to cover all this stuff up. I feel like if you want to do foundation because you like the way it looks, that's all fine. Like I really enjoy a good foundation, you guys know that. I also enjoy sheer foundations or foundations that look like skin the most. Like those are the ones I talk about all the time, the ones that look like skin. And then I was really just thinking like, okay, if you love stuff that looks like skin so much, why don't you just like try it with your own skin? Because I'm gonna be honest, like I think it's fine to embrace the things that you think look great about yourself, and I think I have really, really good skin. I think it's the oily thing. Having oily skin has kind of kept my skin youthful, especially because I'm not acne prone. If you're acne prone, obviously that's another thing altogether. But like I have good skin, so why don't I just try showing it off a little bit more? Okay, before I get into face products, I'm just gonna do my under eye like eyeshadow quickly. What do I want to do? I'm gonna do something simple. I'm not gonna mimic the halo or anything because, oh, that kind of transferred when I blinked. See that? That star is not meant to be up that high. All right, I'm gonna go into this Seek shade that I do not enjoy very much. And what I do is I just keep the eyeshadow brushes that I have been using the whole time in front of me, and I just use them for under my eyes. I don't grab other brushes. I don't really care how big or small these are because there's ways you can manipulate them. Like on this one, I'm just using the front edge of it instead of going like this, and then it works fine for under your eyes. Just like eliminate the need to clean so many brushes, right? This one for the pink, and again, like it's a big brush, but I'm just gonna keep it up a little bit higher and blend that out. And I don't mind if that shade goes a little bit lower. I'm trying to keep it kind of not, like I'm not putting as much on my brush so that I can use this brush. Hear what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? And then that just blends that out a little bit. And then same thing with the shade Get the Shot, which is the yellow shade. This is the one shade that I feel like really is blending the best. It's blending things out and it's really blending the best. Everything else, ugh, like it's okay. I'm just working twice as hard. I don't like working twice as hard. Okay, now what to do about this? I was gonna suggest this earlier. For these stars, if you do like them, you might want to use a tweezer to just pick them up and place them. But the thing of it is, putting a tweezer near your eye, you have to really trust yourself. And let's just see. Like, see, you can pick it up. But now I'm like, okay, well, am I gonna have to bust out more glitter glue, or is it just gonna keep falling off? Like, if you're doing this for a night out, or I guess a daytime look too, if you like it, then are you really gonna be worried about these stars falling off all the time? Because I kind of would. But you might want to, I don't know, just use a lot extra. I used a lot of glitter glue, and that stuff is potent. So I don't know, maybe it's just because they're really, really large, and maybe it was right in the crease or something. But anyway, you can grab a tweezer to help out with that a little bit. I'm gonna do my eyebrows, and I'm going to use these lashes. I'm gonna do it all off camera because it requires a lot of concentration. I've used these once. These are awesome. These are the Kiss Lash Couture Luxe Extensions in Russian volume. They're supposed to mimic like having lash extensions. That's right. I've used them, so that's why it's not attached. So I'm going to show it to you this way. So look at those. You guys know how much I love Kiss lashes. I saw these ones. I believe they're brand new. They look super voluminous. I've worn them once. I really like them. I did a bunch of stuff. So I did add All Access as an inner corner highlight. I feel like it does a little bit, but not a lot. I just wanted to mention that. I used my Anastasia DipBrow for my eyebrows, and what I wanted to say, the reason I'm even bringing this up is because sometimes I've tried to do that before, like do my eyebrows first when I have no foundation, and it kind of slips and slides all over the place. So I figured I'm gonna try that today and just see. I think laying that powder down, just the one layer of translucent powder, really helped that, because that's a big reason why I like to do my foundation before I do my eyebrows. So I feel like the eyebrows kind of stick, but they stuck fine this time, so that was a good thing. I did put one like short unwinged out line of NYX matte liquid liner just so that I could get these lashes to blend in, because I'm really not good at lashes with no liner. I don't know, it always looks a little bit wonky, so it always helps when you can blend it into eyeliner. Okay, as I was putting them on, I was looking real close in the mirror. I noticed kind of this greenish blue glitter all over my face now, and I don't know if that was there, like it's on my nose. I don't know if it was there when I first put this glitter on, or if it's just been falling out, but it's like everywhere. It's all over my forehead. Okay, so we are almost done. I have bronzer, blush, and highlight, and that's it. I'm gonna use just my old Glam bronze from L'Oreal. This stuff comes out every year, so if you've never purchased it before, it usually comes out in the summertime. I just put this in my Project Pan series. I really like the idea of putting just a little layer of powder down, because I really do think that it's going to help everything blend, as opposed to just putting straight product right on my skin, which, you know, I don't really think is the best for blending. This is a favorite spring summer blush. This is MAC Petal Power, the mineralized blush. I'm pretty sure this is permanent. It's so nice. It's got a decent amount of glow to it. It's a really nice pink blush. One of my favorites. And then my friend Alex gave this to me for Christmas, and I think I used it maybe once or twice, but I haven't used it in months. So when I was like, what highlighter am I going to use? I'm like, let's bust this out. It's the Beauty Bakery Illuminator, the So Icy Illuminator. I think it's cute because it says tap top, open slowly, which is smart because it's loose in there. You see that? The packaging obviously is adorable. It's supposed to look like a little ice cream pint. But yeah, this is the shade Iced. And it definitely has glitter in it. Or I should say maybe like shimmer, not necessarily full-on glitter. But it's not super out there. Like, it actually, I feel like, is kind of subtle looking. At least for me. So if you like a non-blinding highlight, this is not bad. Okay, I do feel like my bronzer isn't as blended as I would like normally. It's looking a little patchy, especially in this area here. And that was really my worry when I was like, okay, well, if I'm not gonna have foundation to blend into, like, How is this gonna work? I am going to spray my face with my MAC Fix Plus, and maybe that's like, well, why put powder on in the first place? But I do kind of want my skin to shine, like my skin to be the thing. And the powder does kind of put it, there's no coverage to it, but there is a little bit of kind of like a veil almost to it. So I just want to bring my skin back. So just a little bit, like I'm super oily. I don't need a lot of this, but yeah, I think that definitely did something. I definitely still have these glitters on my forehead. I can't get rid of them. Like that's a little bit frustrating. Last thing is just lips. This is the Kaja Heart Melter, and the shade is Crazy For You, shade 03. It's got a little clicky guy, and it's in the shape of a heart, which is adorable. I love this color. It's kind of like a neutral, but it's super shiny and just like juicy pink. All right, so here's the final look. I definitely, like, I'm actually shocked that it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like, I really thought that doing a glam look with no foundation was going to be stark, because a lot of the time I've seen other people on Instagram or YouTube or whatever do it. I'm like, I can really tell they're not wearing foundation. Not a bad thing, but it almost is a very stark contrast. And I don't feel like this is a super stark contrast, even though the eyes are like super duper glam. So I definitely feel like it was a little bit more difficult to get the face products to blend properly. The powder definitely helped. Like I can't imagine doing it without that, especially on super oily skin like I have. And then in terms of just the things that were kind of first impressions, the Beauty Blender Leveler, like I like it. But for me, I think I still would definitely go for my NARS Smooth and Protect or Benefit Professional over this, just because of the type of skin I have. So if you're oily, I think you would still probably prefer those more. This fills in pores pretty good, but it is definitely more hydrating. So normal to dry skin, I think would probably like this more. The e.l.f. Satin, the Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish, I definitely like it. Like so far so good with this. It's the third time I think I've used it. With no foundation, I'm actually super impressed that it's blended kind of into my own skin as well as it has. Now let's talk about the big guy here. This is the Morphe 24A Artist Pass. So far, I'm not going to recommend it. It doesn't have my seal of approval, but it's only my first time using it. I am excited to try out a lot more of these glitters. Like I didn't try any of these glitters yet, but I did struggle. I struggled a lot with the mattes in here, a lot. Way more than I usually do with most formulas. So I'm really kind of concerned about that. And I will for sure update you guys on this at some point, probably in like a favorites video or hits and misses or that kind of thing. But I want to use it a lot more before I fully review it. So far, like, I think it's a fun look, right? It's a very fun palette. I kind of got there with it, but not perfectly, and it took me a lot longer. Probably 4 times as long as I usually spend on my eyeshadow. Like I didn't anticipate this video was going to be as long as it is. But there you go. At least it's like an honest first impression review on that. So I will definitely use a lot more. Probably will post looks on Instagram as well. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you definitely should do that. Especially because I just post like really fun stories. I think they're fun. I think I post like really fun stories on Instagram. Not like too much, but just enough, right? I try to keep you guys engaged. I love the people who engage with me on Instagram. Like I have a lot of people sending me messages. I'll always respond to them, and you know, I like to do those little questions and then post your answers with the gifts and stuff. It's really fun and interactive. All right, I hope that you had a good time. I hope you were getting ready or just doing something fun while you watched this. And I really hope that you're having a great day and speaking to yourself kindly, especially when you look in the mirror. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.